Hello friends, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are going to try and paint this beautiful painting by debbiereeveart. It's kind of like an autumn sunset on a lake, but with lots of pine trees, and it looks gorgeous, and I probably will butcher this, but I'm going to attempt it because it's gorgeous, if I haven't already said that several times. So gosh, where do I even start with this? So we're gonna have to work quickly, and she has a video that goes along with this that shows her process. I have not watched this video because that is not my style. I don't usually watch people's tutorials. I just look at their pictures and try to replicate the painting just based off of the picture. So that is what I have done. If this turns out looking not so great, then perhaps go watch her video because it's probably, her technique is probably a lot more efficient than mine. But I'm going to try nonetheless because it's a gorgeous painting. So there's going to be a big sun like beaming through around here. So the outside trees need to be darker. So I'm taking this orange red that I have, I'm adding a little bit of black. Actually, you could even take maroon, which is basically the color I made, mixing the color with black. And you can, that's what you want to start with on the edges. Now because you kind of have to move quickly, I would not recommend necessarily using the technique I'm using to paint these pine trees. I have another technique that I have in my Skillshare class, and I may have used it on this channel before. That is way more efficient, but it's not like me to make things easy. I have to complicate things for myself. So that's what we're gonna go with. Or maybe not. We're still early in this painting. I might change my mind. That technique is basically painting like a line like this, and then you kind of go back and forth like this, but I don't want to do that yet. We'll see. For now, I'm going to try and do it this way, and the reason why this is not very efficient is because you have to work quickly. You don't want this to dry, but it's definitely going to dry because I'm slow at painting these trees. So I would say the fourth tree in, if you're going kind of the same width that I'm going at, you want to start lightening your orange or red that you're using. If you're using maroon, fade it into red. If you're using red, fade into orange. So I'm kind of in the orange stage now. And very quickly, we're going to go into yellow, which is when the sun is going to start shining through. So now I've already moved into yellow. Like that. And then there's going to be another yellow on this side. And then straight into the orange again. I have the grabby palette that I use, which is linked in the description, has like, I don't know, 9 different colors of red to orange. So I have basically this gradient that's already on my palette, so I don't have to worry about color mixing. But if you don't have those available to you, it's very easy just to mix what you need. Look up the color wheel and color mixing on YouTube, and it'll help you in that regard. This is not really the channel for that. I don't teach like watercolor basics, because honestly, I don't know them myself. I just use my intuition with a lot of things, but yeah, don't rely on me for that stuff, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Which just goes to show you, you really don't have to be a professional to create beautiful art, because I'm certainly not. Like, no siree Bob. Okay, so around here we're going back into that maroon color, and soon the maroon will fade into like almost a black. Somewhere around here. Now I'm gonna just pause here for a second because we have to move kind of quickly now, because these have probably already started drying. So this is where I'm gonna start creating like a circle here. Honestly, I shouldn't have painted that because now it's yellow and not white. Oh, perfect. I used toilet paper to pick that up and it worked really well. So now we have to, okay, sorry, work really quick if you can. I'm gonna kind of go over my trees again because they're already dry. Just super roughly, make sure you're following the right colors here. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, and now you gotta extend that color into a solid color. So kind of halfway down. Grab the orange and then the yellow, like so, and then kind of back to those colors. Perfect. Okay, so once you do that, this is gonna be tricky. I don't know how she did this, but you're gonna have to do a lot of brush rinsing here. You want your sun rays to come through what you just painted. So after every brush stroke, rinse your brush in water so that it's clean and you can pick up more color, if you know what I mean. Like, boom, boom. I guarantee you there is an easier way of doing this, and I am just choosing to do the hard way. Actually, why don't we do what I did with the toilet paper? So I'm gonna take the toilet paper and I'll just go zoom. Oh my gosh, why didn't I do that from the beginning? Zoom. Zoom. And way to mess up the last one. Okay. Boom. Okay. Not bad. I am happy with how that is looking. Guys, I really was not expecting this. I was expecting something way worse. So, yay. So now that we've got that down, I don't want this bottom part to dry because that will just kind of be unfortunate. So I'm taking water and I'm just trying to extend this bottom before it dries, because we have to do the reflection. We don't have to, but I've already went way below the horizon line. So yeah, but what we want to do is, if it's easier for you, you can flip your piece of paper and you're gonna try and mirror what you've painted. So and then do. And because it's the reflection, I'm not trying to be as accurate as I was for the top, but that's personal preference, I suppose. You do what works for you. And fade into the yellow. And then there's another yellow here. And again, you have to work kind of quickly because this is going to have to be joined before it dries. So that's why it helps to have cotton paper, because I feel like the cotton paper holds water a lot better and it gives you more time to paint what you need to if it needs to stay wet. Like so, and then we'll end with the maroon again. Okay, so I'm going to flip that back around. And I'm going to try to hopefully naturally fade that in. Man, guys, this does not happen very often with me, where things actually go to plan. Now, I would recommend, if you can, if it hasn't dried yet, to try and go extend your little sun rays onto the reflected part. Might be a little intense over here, so I'm gonna just go over that a bit. Not bad at all. I would have made more rays, I think. I could go back, because I guess you still can. Just make sure you dry it with the toilet paper so it doesn't cauliflower out. We definitely don't want any of that happening. But holy, not bad at all. We need to continue this. I know I stopped there, but that's okay, hopefully. We'll see. So I'm going to continue with that maroon. I'm going to drop down a tiny bit here. I don't know why, it feels like I don't have very much water on my paintbrush, and no matter how many times I plop my brush in the water, it's just not picking up. So I'm gonna mix some of that maroon with black to make it even darker as we move to the right of this painting. And just finish off until you're totally at the end here. I'm gonna try and do this upside down. No, it's a bit hard. Okay, there we go. So we have to join these guys together. I'm going to take a little bit of orange, or it should have been red rather than orange, just to join those guys. Doesn't matter because this is going to be covered, I believe, with an island. Just going to dab it there to prevent cauliflowering. So we've got our background down. I cannot believe I did that in 16 minutes. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but holy, I don't really make things like this happen too often. So, yes, let's let this completely dry, and then we're gonna paint an island over here. It's gonna make it all come together. It'll be beautiful, hopefully, crossing our fingers. All right, my friends. I'm gonna take a little bit of black. This should be dry, by the way. I'm going to take that maroon color that we've been using on the left and right, but I do want to have it mainly black, like a very, 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 very dark maroon. And we're gonna paint, I don't know if that's fully dry, but in classic Julia fashion, I'm just gonna chance it. So my island is gonna come up around here, looking something like this. And I'm gonna have a couple, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 pine trees on this island that are going to overlap these other guys. I think the reason my pine trees look the way they do, and I like how they look, is because of my paintbrush. Because I have never been able to achieve these kinds of pine trees. I mean, the difference is very minor, but it's noticeable to me. And I think it's just how my the bristles on my brush behave. They're not as stiff as the brushes I'm used to using. So maybe we'll have one little pine tree over here as well, just to make my island a little bit bigger. And I'll have another one on this side. Okay. So I need to finish, oh shoot, I realize I have to do the reflection here. So I'm gonna leave a gap momentarily and just have these trees coming down like this first, flip it, and quickly paint the reflections. Like so. And now what I want to do is kind of create a misty effect like I did with everything else. And then join the shadows to that mist, like so. And I need to somehow hide this. Just use your finger, that works. Okay. Wow. So I was not expecting this to look like this. One thing I would have done differently, before we started any of the trees, I would have painted the background like a gray or a light blue, just something to give it color, because right now it's just white. And I can't do anything about it now because, like, I guess if I were to wait until this was completely dry, I could paint on a bit of color, like a blue in the background, but I don't want to risk it. So I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And I'm very happy with this. I can't believe that we painted this in 22 minutes. So I'm going to just peel the tape off. And there we have it. So let me know what you guys think of this one. It was super quick, mainly because you have to work quickly so that things don't dry before you can fuse them together. But yeah, let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe for weekly videos, and I will see you in the next tutorial.